Thank you guys for working with me a moment ago when my grandson was acting up. He's fallen asleep. That's the only reason he normally cries like that. All right, I'm waiting for a few more to come in. And what I'm going to do is, let's see. Client information. I'm going to show you guys how to get the zip code or the phone number formats. I'm going to show you how to get the estimated amount, the calculated amount. Then I'm going to show you a lookup and then demonstrate a query and a form. Well, probably a form first, and show you how to walk through that. Then I'm going to have you guys share with me any trouble that you might be having with your stuff. I know one of the troubles is going to be the relationships. That's why, as you're working on this, it really is important that you have your data dictionary out so that you know what you named it and what its data is supposed to look like.
Yeah, for me, honestly, it's just navigating and creating. It's just getting basically familiar with the thing. I have everything like drawn out. It's just, you know, I can get it. It's just taking more time, and I'm fine with that. But
There's a learning curve associated with it. I
yeah,
understand.
Yeah,
And
and that's what he just said. This thing. So I had it drawn at work, but when I tried to come and put it in Access, it just I damn near threw my computer.
yeah, yeah.
take a breath. What was going on?
Just maneuvering through Access again. I mean, I haven't done it in a long time. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, before we used like NetBeans in the other classes, right?
Right.
And that was very simple, very easy. Everything was out there. Whereas Access, everything's in that top bar. It's more so getting to, you know, finding it within the top bar, within the top bar, you know?
Right.
Like
It has
force
a learning curve, and the concept behind it has a learning curve. And I understand that. So that's why I'm not going to necessarily make you have to have a working project, but the whole point to this class was how to go about creating a project. So if there's details to it that aren't just quite right, that's okay. Did you all figure out how to do like the zip code formatting?
I haven't actually tried that part yet, but I think I will have an idea
Let me
based off of what I.
let me
I
show
think
you real quick.
short integer always short text works for everything.
Yeah, it does, but then there's no
Okay, it's
data.
okay.
There's no data validation if you were expecting numbers.
Mm.
And see how I'm using an auto number? I have to look for an integer, and it has to be of data type long int. So you're going to see where I do client ID somewhere else, and I have to have it described as a long integer to be able to go in there and use it. All right, did everybody see where I got into design view? I like design view to work from. And then you had your date where you chose date, and then here I always choose short date. And what you're supposed to do here, like I should type in employee or client's name. I should be giving some sort of name of contact. I should be saying something over here about that field. This is all the data dictionary. And what happens with database, there's ways you can print it out so it would create like your data dictionary for you. Go in and set its field size. I want to see something. Short. So for zip, I didn't put an input mask.
That's state. That's state.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did want state, but I'm trying to remember if oops, I meant view just. All right, so what that did for state when I did that, I'm going to put a dummy and I'll show you what I did. So I get a new one and their contact date. It automatically puts it in uppercase. All right. So I didn't say whether the rest of that. All right.
Did you use the greater than lowercase or?
Say that again.
Did you use the greater than LL there?
Yes.
Okay.
And what that did is it put it in uppercase. Then we have, in order to do the format, it has to be short text. And then you would go down to input mask. This is zip code. So it tells it to put the zip code and how it's going to show up. This 9999 is optional numbers. So if doesn't have the 4 additional digits, it's only going to show the 5. And do we want to show the placeholder? It could be anything that we want. That's instead of, most of the time we have stars or for passwords or underscores. And then we say, actually we can go straight to finish. So I had footage, blinds, so estimated, calculated. So I'm going to go to calculated and come over here. Then I would just, I've already got it up here, but I would just, I'm going to come down a couple. I would just go in there and say total footage times, you know, whatever the cost, we're doing 7 cents a foot. Number of bathrooms. So you saw that I'm just clicking here and then telling it how much it is. So write that formula down. You may have used different names, but it's going to be your footage, your bathrooms, your blinds, your windows, and it's going to calculate out the estimated amount. Everybody good with that?
1 second, let me get that information.
Everybody
So
got
those
it?
are the those are the prices that they want per thing, right?
This is the prices that we're charging. So all we have to do, I'm just going to say, okay, all we have to do is type in how many square footage, how many bathrooms, and notice on bathrooms, I'm allowing for a half a bathroom. Blinds are going to be 12, windows 14. So the amount that we're going to charge them is $153.45. So it'll automatically calculate based on whatever formula we have for it.
Hey, can you show me where you enter that formula at again?
Yeah,
Once you enter a new.
I'm going to click on View Design,
Mm,
and under the estimated amount,
okay,
you're going to say calculated.
gotcha.
And then on that, you're going to come over here on the expression and get the ... the dialog box.
Mm-hmm.
And then that brings up the expression builder.
Okay.
Are you able to see the expression builder?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. And then you just click on it and do your numbers on it. All right. Everybody good so far? All right. Let me go to client history. This is where I'm pulling their client ID. So I'm going to view design. Notice that job ID, and I could have left it at job ID as being my primary key, but I wanted client ID and service date too. So I made all three of those. How did I make all three of those my key? I highlighted all three of the fields and then just clicked on the primary key. So client ID, notice it's a number of an integer type. Actually, it's a lookup wizard. And it's going to tell me I can't do it because it's part of a relationship. Have y'all gotten that?
Yes, I've gotten that actually.
You're going to be fussing. That's why it's really good to be looking at your ERD diagrams to know what the relationship should be. So I got to close all these out. And then I've got to go into database tools relationships. And it was from client to client history. So I'm going to right click on this and delete the relationship. So now that allows me, I got to save it. Then I've got to go in, that was client history. I'm going to go back into my view. And the client ID is a lookup wizard from another table. And it's coming from client. I like sending over the ID and the client name. And then I'm going to alphabetize it by the client name. And I like to see the key. I just like that. What's going to happen is it's going to show the key and store the key, but show the names to us. I like seeing the key myself. And then you say next. When you select a row in the lookup, you can store a value from that row. Okay, I want the ID, enable integrity, and finish. Now, if we go back, I got to close this out to go into my relationships. But you will see, I can hide that table. And it was from, there it is, right here. From client ID to client ID, it has a one to many. Sometimes you're going to have to click on these, right click, edit relationship, and make them one to many.
Okay.
So that's how you make your relationships? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how you'll go in. Now you'll have to close out all the tables that are affected by the relationship. That's one of the things.
I went,
What's
I'm sorry,
that?
Ms. B. Because I went in there where it said create relationships. That's how I tried to do it. But you just did it from the actual table.
Yeah,
design.
all I have to do is it, well, I don't know. Ask that question again, because I did it in a lookup, and the lookup added that relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see how I did the lookup, or was I too
Yep.
fast?
No. I'm recording.
Okay. So the
See,
lookup will automatically create the relationship for you. Now, what happens is you may go in and try to do a relationship, but you've got this defined as a different data type. So then you'll have to go in back to the file, the table, change the data type, which might be a pain. And then there's a lot of opening and closing of the tables and the relationship stuff. That does get
Yeah.
frustrating. All right, does somebody want to share with me? Oh, did I show you how to do a form? Let me show you the easiest way to do a form. I'm going to create, and I'm going to use a form wizard, and I want to get client ID, initial, name, address, city, state, phone number, estimated amount. Then I want to get their history, their job ID, their service date, type of service, and hours. And it's going to be like that. So I click finish. And what this does for me is I can look at each time I went to a client's, I have their information. If they want to do another one, schedule another cleaning. To go in here and change this, I could do it two ways. I'm going to double click here, and now I have room, and we'll do 5.0. And then we could go to the next one. So that was a real quick form. You only have to create one form. This is a form with a sub form. So it allows me, I like it kind of like this, so I could look at, and you know, the other thing I think that you really should have here is who was the employee working on it. So that's going to be the client history, because they may say something like, don't send that last person back. Or they said, I really like that person. Can I have them again? Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
I heard a kind of frustrated, talk to me.
No, I get it.
Well, ask me a question.
No, so it was really that relationship thing. That's why I was like,
The trick about the relationship stuff is
I think I got it now.
yeah, if you have tables up, let's say I have some tables up, and then I want to go in and do my relationships, it should tell me client relations. Okay, I did have that. Client relations. If I were to go in and try to, well, it shouldn't work because it's open. There it is. It couldn't do it because it's opened. So that means I got to come out. I got to close all this. Close out my tables. That's why, like I said, it's easiest if you have your diagram on how you set up, and it should have been due last week, which means I should have checked it, looked over it, or I'm about to. So it should show you your relationship so that you don't have to really worry about them until you go into your, the lookups are going to have to be right. and I'm going to give you the frustration on lookups. You forget the data type, and then it doesn't match. So pay attention to the data type. If the table is open, you can't change it in the relationships. Everything's got to be closed. That's the other thing that's going to frustrate you. All right. So did y'all understand about queries?
I did not.
Okay. Well, let me show you a quick query that I made. This is one to do an expense report. So I want it to start from 06/01/2020 to 06/30/2020. And it's going to come up and show me all my expenses as well as my total. How did I do this? Stay with the queries, the wizards. So you could do a simple query, and I took it from receipts. No, well, this is one. Amount paid. I want a summary. Nope, I want a detail. I want a detail. Okay, then I'm going to do finish. I guess I didn't put in any receipts. Receipts query. I'm going to go in, and this is where view design. Actually, I'm going to go into my expense query, view design. So in the way I had set up my, I was playing around with it, with my receipts. It allows you to go in, and if I listed the amount as a revenue, what I'm saying here is that my criteria is not equal to, this must be expenses. I got this backwards. Not equal to revenue. Receipts query, that should be equal to revenue. And we're going to group by, and we're going to create a sum. So we're going to sum these. Can I open this up? Yeah. All right, so here's my query where I got it to say for a date. So I said equal to, enter the start date. And so the stuff that's in the square brackets is the prompt, and says it must come before the start date, should be before equals to, and less than equal to, enter end date. Then I would run 06/01/2020, 06/30/2020, and it shows me what, okay, this is my receipts report. I want that one closed because that's what I was just playing with. So that was the receipts query. Delete. Yes. Revenue report. 06. All right. Is there something that you all want me to show you? How I got it to do any of that? Stay in the queries. You can turn on and off the totals. You can sort. If you want to go in and make changes, you view design. So my expense report. So I've got to view that because I got to not equal to revenue. Group by greater than. So I did that one. File, enter start date, enter end date, and then it shows me all my expenses. I can't get the one report where it shows me all my revenues less all my expenses. I'm still working on that, but it's coming from the same table. And it's not quite as easy. Did you all see that? Did you have questions?
May have questions, but do a trial and error run first.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, so would one of you want to share your screen and maybe do this or see where you might be having a problem at? It's good. It's a learning environment for all of us. Anybody willing?
I'm taking.
I'm gentle. All right, so I have something for you. I know Saturday is a holiday, but Monday, would you like to meet for a few minutes to maybe you all can't do this right now because you haven't done it yet. Am I right?
Right.
Yep.
All right. It was my hopes that you had started doing some of this first so that we could sit down together and kind of go through it. But would you like to meet?
Miss G.
Yeah.
So I started this, and this is what I was working on last week. And I had one of our project management guys helping me with it. But I got all my tables made, but just I had an issue with my relationships. So I see how you did that with the lookup wizard and making it relate.
Right.
So, but that's so last week I just did everything through Access because I had a class a while ago and I thought I was going to be good, but actually it didn't. So
do you feel more comfortable about it now?
I do a little bit, and I'm like I said, I'm recording,
Okay.
so I can go and look at what you did. So, but I'm good. If anybody else is good Monday, just let me know because I'll be traveling Monday. So,
Yeah.
Do you want about like 8 o'clock for the 40 minutes? That way it allows you to get home, get settled down, and then go over something, with me.
Miss G, I'm good with whatever the rest of the bunch says. I'm good. My flight doesn't leave until late, and it's West Coast time, so I'm good. Whatever anybody else wants to do.
Okay, and
I think 8 is perfect.
you're flying on Monday, late.
Yes, I'm returning. Yeah, late. So yeah, it's a red eye. I'm cheap, frugal.
I'm with you. I was looking for the $49 flight to Houston. They suck because it was actually $139. And it's like, I told my brother, I love you, but I don't love you 270 some dollars worth.
Yep.
I said, if I could have caught it for $49, damn the coronavirus, I'd have gone.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have to pay all that and I get stuck in the house. Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not Miss G.
So if we did it at 6 o'clock, is that too early for everybody? No, you're going to be out. No, Monday's a regular day. Tell me, guys, when you.
I'm cool on Monday as well. Either whatever the rest of the group wants. I'm game.
That way
Monday works for me too.
About 6.
6, yes.
Okay.
I mean, that works.
All right. So we will meet Monday at 6. Now I'm going to tell you guys, if I forget, one of you remind me. I'm going to write it down on my calendar, but that doesn't always mean anything. So Monday at 6. I'm going to meet with you guys and have you go over what you've done, go over any problems you may be having to do with it. That brings us to about the last week. And I got to take a look at what assignment I've given you and how far you guys have come along with this. Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So I will meet you back Monday at 6. Have a
6.
safe and wonderful 4th of July.
Yeah.
Light a firecracker for me.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, everybody be safe.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to end this unless there is anybody who wants to ask me any questions.
No, ma'am.
Oh, man. Good weekend, Miss G.
All right. Thank you. You too. Be safe. Don't drink too much.
Thank you.
Or won't.
Y'all be safe.
All right.